make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, like I was saying before, today has been, oh man, it's been crazy. I'm excited about, I'm excited about this podcast and this whole kind of series that we've been doing. We just did my first episode on my live stream, just a few minutes ago. Our first episode was of my workout episodes. So what I'm trying to do is I really want to take everyone, all my watchers and stuff, take them through my journey, my personal journey of fitness, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now, is get back into like my fitness groove and working out and stuff like that. So what I thought of was, hey, how about I do like kind of like a little episode series and live stream it. What my plan is to do is at the start of every single one, I'm gonna weigh myself, and that will be all. You guys will be able to see my weight, my BMI, my water intake, all that type of stuff. And then I'll have a planned workout, and I already had a lot of questions on different workouts I'm gonna do. You know, some people don't have equipment, and I do, so we're gonna do some workouts with and without equipment, stuff like that. And let me make this a little bit bigger. So we're going to do the workout, and then right after that, we're going to hop in and we're going to plan a meal too. And then we're going to eat a meal, and we're going to talk about diet and exercise and everything all together. So it was really cool. We had a lot of people come and watch the first episode. My hat is like messed up or weird. Anyways, who cares? So that was that. So we did that today, and then we had a lot of people. I think we had 50 or 60 viewers. Now we're hopping right into this podcast, and I planned all this stuff today. I planned to do it all today, and my schedule's already crazy. For anybody who was watching that live stream, I think it's because my camera's a little off kilter. That's all right. Anyone who watched that and gave me a follow, I know Rusty Ruzy11 followed, and Fireman Craig87 followed. Thank you guys for following. I really appreciate that. That was really awesome of you doing that. I'm super pumped that you guys thought I was interesting enough to give me a follow. So that's really cool. And without further ado, this hat is like, okay, there we go. Without further ado, we're gonna hop into this part of the day, which is the podcast section of the day. So one of my things that I do every week, and we'll start off with this, is I do a men's group. I try to do it twice a month. And I was talking to a lot of my guys, and they were telling me, like, hey, you got to get this type of stuff out there, you know, for everybody. And so I was trying to, like, think of how to do that. And I'm like, well, why don't I just take, you know, the topics that I talk about in my men's group and then bring them right over to, you know, live stream and kind of film it and live stream it and see what type of people's reactions is, see how they like it, see how they enjoy it. So I did that, and a lot of people seem to enjoy this. And so my main goal is to motivate everybody to become a better person, tricks and tips to help everybody become a better person, to progress in their life. Like, that's what my goal is. That's what I want my stream to be. Whether I'm playing games, working out, or doing all the podcast thing, I want to see people move forward in life. And what I do to kind of help, you know, teach people or show people or whatever, is I just take things that I've struggled with or things that I am not good at, and I try to, you know, say, hey, I did this wasn't right, or this worked out well, and here's how it worked out for me. And just leave it at that and let people do the best that they can do. So today, I know if you guys have looked at the top of the screen, you've seen the topic of tonight is the importance of generosity and why that is important. Let me get some coffee first. So, I think that it's it's generosity in life is just it's such an important thing for everyone to do, no matter. And again, I'll start off by saying this. When I say generosity, I don't mean just money. Like everyone, they hear the word generosity and they think giving money. It's so much more than just giving money to things. Like, in fact, there's a lot of things that are worth more than money, and we'll get into all that. Um, so my initial statement of this whole thing is I wanted to say that generosity, and I have my whole notes all set up here, so if I'm looking down, just forgive me for that. Generosity starts in the heart, and it's not just about money or finances, it's about our time, our talents, and our gifts. So it's about using those other things, the intangible things, to help others and give to others. So I kind of broke this down into those like 3 points. And the reason why I say time, talents, and gifts is because those things are very invaluable to us. What's your time actually worth? We only have a limited amount of time. What's your time worth to you? So if you are generous with your time to other people, that's worth more than, a lot of money. I would say my time is probably one of my most valuable things. Talents. We all have talents. We all have special talents. We all have things we do that make us unique. And we can share those with other people, and we can use those to help out other people. And that's another thing that's really cool. Another thing is our gifts. You all have, gifts that are different from others in life. And gifts may be financial stuff, gifts may be a house or something like that. So I kind of took this and I broke it down. I broke it down into like 3 sections. So section number 1 is I did time. So how are we generous with our time? We all get 24 hours in a day. And I really don't want to just brush over that. Like, time is such an important thing in our lives. Like, a lot of people, they don't understand how important our time is. Our time it's always going. You have a limited amount of time on this earth. You have a limited amount of time in that day. And if you sleep for 7 hours, then you don't actually have 24 hours. You actually have less than that, depending on how much time you sleep. Like, time is so very, very valuable to us. And I think a lot of people, being younger kids with the younger generation, like, it gets looked past so easily, because once you get a little bit older and you have a home, or you have a family, or you have a wife, or you have kids, you see that time go away. It's very, very hard to find time to even just do the things you would like to do. So just always try to keep in mind how important time is to us, and how important it's just a thing that's always going. It's a thing that's always leaving you. You can't get any of it back. I always say that too. Time is important because you can't get it back. Every second you waste is a second you never get back. So anyways, how do we be generous with our time? And I say to be generous with our time, we help others. It can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as holding a door for somebody. Take time out of your day, and even if it's something very small, it will help the other person or make an impact on the other person's life, and you may not even know, about that impact. You might hold the door open for somebody and shoot them a smile and say, "Hey, I hope you have a good day," and walk off. And that person, they might not be doing very well. And because you did that, you just changed their day. You just changed their life. You never know what a person is dealing with. Number 2, we can hang out with our friends. Getting older, and I have all my friends. I have a really, really good group of friends. I always tell everybody, like, I choose the people I hang out with because I don't have time for the people who are annoying or who waste my time. So all the people I have, all my friends, they're there because I want them there. And that is something, having friendships, and it's something that is valuable. So you have to give your time to them too. You do have to be a little bit generous with your time to give to your friends. I'll give you an example. Last night, my buddy, really good friend, we have been friends for a long time. He lives further away, and we don't talk all the time. We talk, a pretty decent amount for how far away we live from each other, but we don't talk all the time. And he called me the other day. He said, "Hey, I'm going through something. I just need someone to talk to." And I talked to him for a little while. I'm like, "Hey, man, I hope everything gets better." Blah blah blah. He texted me last night at close to midnight, and he was like, "Hey," or I told him I would call him, and I said, "Hey, it's getting close to midnight. Do you still want me to call?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I talked to him till 4 a.m. And I didn't have to do that. I had to be up in the morning, and I had things to do, and I called him up and we chatted and chatted and chatted. And you know what? We both got something out of that conversation. We both inputted our time, and we both were generous with each other with our time. And we both came out of that conversation feeling better, feeling healed, feeling ready to push forward into life. And everyone has issues. There, you can always lend out a hand to help out a friend. Another thing, spend time with kids. If you have kids, spend time with them. Be generous with your time. Your kids, if you have kids, they're an important person in your life. They're important people in your life. Your family, your older family. For me personally, I have, my grandparents are still alive, and I really do try to spend some time with them, because that they're not going to be there forever. They might be gone someday, and it might be sooner and it might be later. I don't know, but be generous with your time with your family members, with your parents, with your grandparents, with your brothers and sisters. Like, those things mean something to them. Being generous with your time means something. And even if you just spend some time with them and you talk about nothing super important, as long as you're there, that's something that can really make someone's day. I know personally, every once in a while, my grandparents actually live right across the street from my parents. And so I'll be at my parents' house and I'll be getting ready to leave, and I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go over to Nana and Pa's house. I'll just go and say hi to them for a little bit." And I go in and they're just, sitting in their living room, and I come in, I sit down and we chat, and they light up when they see me come in. And I'm not saying I'm so great and I'm so special, but their faces light up. They want to see me. They want to spend time. But because I'm older and I work and I have, my own wife and my own house and stuff, it's harder for me to do that now. But I recognize that back when I was younger, my grandparents, all my grandparents, they invested a lot of their time into me. And the least thing I can do is be generous with my time now and be able to at least spend some time with them. Another one is just, you can help out people. You can help out when you see a need. Most of the time, that need, if it's not something like monetary or has money involved, that need is you're gonna need your time. Hey, can you come and help me, build this house? Can you come and help me take out the trash, mow the lawn, rake the leaves, whatever it may be? That's being generous with your time. And I think that doing some things like that, it's almost more valuable than money. When you have, let's say you have like a friend, or I have a friend, and they come in and they fill that need for you when they didn't have to, it makes you feel amazing when it's done for you. And then the other thing is, when you do that for somebody else, you feel just as good as them, and they're getting the product. That's the crazy part, is you feel great for helping them out. Now, how awesome is that? They feel great because they got helped out, and you feel great because you helped them out. And the other thing I'd like to say too is, you never know when you're going to be the person who needs help or who needs a hand. You never know that. You don't know if something in your life crazy happens, and maybe your life comes crumbling down, and the one thing that's going to help you out is the people who come in there and they fill a need for you. Let's say something happens, or you have an accident, or whatever it may be. If you've helped other people and you've been generous with your time and with your talents and with your gifts and with your money to other people, and other people have seen that. And again, we're not being generous because we want something in return. We are generous because it's the right thing to do. But then when we are the one in need, we have people who are, will come to bat for us. And we have people who are there to come and help us when we're the one in need. That's the great thing about it. You have people who look out for you too when you've looked out for them or helped them out. Ooh. Gotta get that coffee down. The next thing is our talents. So everyone has different talents. Some people are, let me back up for a second. People have talents, and everyone has a talent or some talents, and those talents are like unique to you. You do have some talents that are very unique to who you are. And if you don't know what those talents are, I would really suggest trying to figure them out, really watching yourself and learning about yourself, learning who you are, and trying to figure out what the answer to those questions are, because knowing what your talents are is just such an important thing. It is so cool. Once you can kind of figure out what your talents are, you can figure out when you can help someone with those things. I have some examples kind of written down. One of them is you can be a creative person. Not everybody is creative. Some people might be hey, I really need a name for my business. I really need a slogan. Hey, I need a picture, but I don't know how I want it. And if you have that creative mentality, you could really help somebody out. And that's something you can be generous with, is that talent. Hey, Brother Bacon, what's up, man? Another thing is if you have organizational skills. My wife is a awesome organizer. Everything is organized. And a lot of the times she'll come and she'll help me organize my schedule and my things and the bills and kind of things that I take care of. She'll come and help me organize them. That's a talent that she has. It's a skill that she has. And she comes in clutch helping out with that type of stuff. It's so awesome to see someone use their talent and know their talent and then use it to be generous with it. It's always such a cool thing to see. Another thing is some people are a good leader. Leader is a talent. Sometimes people need someone to lead them. And that might be the kids' soccer team down the road, or the softball team, or the kids' basketball team, or whatever. But if you have let's just say for me personally, I played hockey growing up. I was okay. I wasn't the greatest person in the world, but I did okay. And I would love to go and help out the kids. I used to do it all the time whenever I was at the rink and I had an opportunity to hop on the ice and kind of help the coaches out or help some of the younger kids out. Another thing I used to do is we always would do pickup hockey and stuff like that. And I would always, if I was out there and I saw somebody struggling and I'm further ahead than them, I'd go right up to them and say, hey, you want me to teach you how to do blah, 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 and ask them. And and I'm not talking just kids either. There's guys who are maybe a year or two younger than me, or, the same age as me, who are kind of just starting out in hockey, and, I'd see them out there and I was always at the rink. And why not help somebody? And even the older people, you go up to them or they come to you and they ask you for help, and you really and when I say help, in a time something like that, I'm not just saying they're hey, how do you skate fast, or how do you shoot the puck? You don't just go, oh, you do this, then walk off. Take 15 minutes and really show them and then watch them and then critique them, and they'll remember that. And I remember seeing when you see someone's face light up because they couldn't do something and you taught them something or showed them some way and then they could, their face illuminates. It's a beautiful thing to see. And I remember feeling so rewarded and so blessed to be able to see that. It's such a great thing to be able to witness somebody learn something new for the first time, and you get to be a part of that. That's awesome. Everyone should do that. I have another one for your talents. Some people's talents are they have a trade, for me, I do carpentry work, and some people are plumbers and some people are electricians. I know one guy. It's actually my father-in-law. He's an electrician, and he is the most generous person I've ever met in my entire life. And I've been around some generous people. He, no matter what it is, it blows my mind. If someone has some sort of need, he is there to fill it. And it doesn't have to be like electrical work, because he's very, very well versed in a lot of other trade skills. But it blows my mind. It is so cool. Like, see, he always is there, no matter what. And I look at him, I'm like, really, dude? Like, you're helping out that person? You know, you just got done working on your lawnmower and doing your house and getting home from work, and then you cooked, and now you're leaving to go help that person out. Like, wow, it is such a testimony to what type of person he is. And you watch that, and you see how he helps the other person for nothing in return. And you know what? The crazy thing is, he's not a millionaire. He don't have a boatload of money. He's not rich. But in here, he is rich. And he is probably one of the most happy, laid back, calm people that I know. And yeah, he doesn't have $1 million in his bank account. But he has joy in his heart. And it's like, what's the value to that? What value does, having real joy in your life mean? Ask yourself that question. It's a crazy thing, and I really do think that if you really ask yourself that, like, what's more valuable, having a joyful life? And remember, there's a difference between the definition of joy and happiness. Happiness is a totally different thing. We'll talk about that some other time. But having a life that's full of joy, or being rich, look at all these people out there who are rich and how miserable they are. I mean, every single week on the news, there's some rich person or some famous person, goes into rehab or something like that. Like, those people are empty inside. And I'm not rich either, but I love my life. I love the people who are in my life. I am extremely blessed by the people who are in my life. I wouldn't trade anything for no fame, no money, no nothing. Like, what I have, I love it. And I think that everyone else should love their life too, because it's unique and no one else has that. Another thing, going back to the trade skill. Again, you might be a plumber. You might be some sort of construction worker, or you know how to do this thing. Be generous with that to people. Show people, like, some help. Let's say you're a plumber, and someone's faucet is leaking or something happened with their toilet. Go over there and be generous and just go help them out. Why not? Help if you know carpentry. Help some people out with some cabinets or some trim work or some crown molding. Or if you know concrete, and someone wants a little patio, then you help them out. Or you know what? Maybe you don't even have to do it for free, but give them a really good price. Be like, hey, you know what? Like, I really like you. I'm gonna do it for half price, or do something like that. Like, make that person's day. And then the last part of all this is, you have your time, which is one thing you can be evaluated with. You have your talents. Side note, I'll hop into a different one. You have your words. You can be generous with your words. You can be generous with how you talk to others. You can be generous with how you talk to your family. And sometimes being generous with your words just means not saying something that's mean. That might be where you have to start, and that's okay. If that's how it has to be, then so be it. But you can be generous with your words too. Hey, your hair looks really nice today. My wife, she always would look at me crazy, and she'd be like, I got my hair done, you didn't even say anything. And the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, going like, man, her hair looks really, really nice. But I'd never said it to her. You have to be generous with your words. I'm not saying you have to be a pushover, or every time someone walks in you have to be like the nicest person ever and compliment them to death. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I know, no. But you can be generous with your words. If someone does something that you see and you think is cool, or you think is, hey, like, that was something really good that they did, go and tell them that. Or if you actually see someone's hat or shirt or whatever and be like, hey, that's a really cool shirt. Or, hey, you have a really pretty smile. Did you know that? Those things will make somebody's day. And again, you never know where someone is at in their life. They may be at rock bottom. And you could say one thing and it could turn everything around. But you don't know. You never know. So that's generous with your words. And the last thing is our treasure. Being generous with your treasure. Which I would say is, it can be money, but money isn't the most important aspect of generosity. It's a part of it. Being generous has something to do with money. You can be generous with your money. I think we all should at some point in time be generous with money, because I have written down, well, it's actually a Bible verse. I don't know, I know that some people, they don't believe in the Bible and they don't agree with the Bible, but whether you're a Christian or not, or you believe in the Bible or not, you can still take, good things from it, no matter who you are. And there's a verse in the Bible that says, don't store up your treasure on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. So, it's pretty much saying, all of the treasure that you could possibly have, money, or physical things or material things, it all goes away. It all breaks down. It all gets, either rusty and breaks, or gets stolen by a thief, or, gets ruined by the moth. And when I was reading that, what I was thinking is, so instead of, and I'm not saying investing in things is wrong, but putting all your eggs in that basket, why not invest also in something that's invaluable? You can invest in other people. You can help a friend who's building a house, help him build that house. What's that going to be worth to him? What's that home going to be worth when all these people come together and they help somebody out? They help him build his house. And you were a part of that. That is worth so much more than any type of material thing or money. And that's something that you can invest in that's invaluable. You can invest in a friendship. All you guys out there, do you have that friend who is just, they are a good friend? Have you ever had somebody like that? It's invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it. Your family's invaluable. Invest in them. It's saying invest in the things that are invaluable. And again, a little verse later goes on to say, invest in Jesus Christ and invest in the things of heaven. So that's where, for me, I get, when you invest in the things of heaven, you invest in the people. You invest in doing good works. You invest in being generous. But let's talk about being generous with your money. A lot of people think that money is their way, is their gate to happiness. And I've had money, and I've not had money, and I've had a little bit of money, and a medium amount of money, and I've had a decent amount of money. I've never been rich, but I've had money. And I don't care what anybody says. If you think that money is going to make you happy, and I know that's a cliche, I understand that, but I don't care who it is. I've heard the joke, I've said the joke a million times. Yeah, money doesn't make you happy, but have you ever seen someone sad on a jet ski? And it's a funny joke, but when people aren't happy, it's down deep in here, down deep in your heart, and nothing out here can fix that. And money doesn't give you meaning either. There's way more other things in your life that give you meaning. And I would tell anybody, I would test anybody, be generous with some sort of aspect in your life, whether it's your time, your money, your talents, and maybe not. I wouldn't even do money, Because money is almost, when you're generous with money, it's almost too easy. Like, hey, here you go. Beggar on the side of the road. Hey, here's $5. Haha, I'm a generous person. I'm so awesome. Well, that was easy. All you did was walk by a guy and drop some money in a hat or in a can or whatever. Like, when have you ever went the extra mile? When have you ever taken that man and said, hey, I'm not going to give you no money, but we're going to go down the road. We're going to go to the barber. I'm going to give you a haircut. I'm going to check you into a hotel. And I'm going to, let you bathe and have a good night's rest. And I'm going to take you down to a place and we're going to get breakfast. And then I'm going to take you, to a place and we're going to get lunch. And then I'm going to take you to a place down the road and we're going to get you a job. You could drop off 10 grand to that guy, and that 10 grand compared to taking him, getting him a hotel, and bringing him out to eat, letting him know that you don't care to be seen with him. That right there, yeah, that right there is so much more valuable than just handing out money to him. Yeah, you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. You teach a man to fish, and you feed him for life. It's true. And it's so much more valuable to invest your time, because if you do something like that, that means you're being generous with your time, and also you're paying for these things for him, so you're also being generous with your money. But the thing that a lot of people don't understand too is that when generosity, it has a ripple effect, and it ripples out to people, and you may never see where it ripples to, but it does not stop. And I remember times people have been generous to me. I still remember them, and they were 10 years ago. I remember every time someone has been super generous to me, I always remember it. Why? Why do I always remember it? Because it means something. And when you can do stuff like that, and you do stuff for people, they'll remember it for the rest of their life. And it's an important thing, and I really think that everybody should do it. Everyone should try their best to be generous with whatever they have at the time. At this stage in your life, you might have to be generous with your time. It's going and help grandma and grandpa rake the leaves. It's helping your brother how to do math. It's helping your sister how to read. It's helping out your mom do the dishes. It's your time. Then you move a little bit forward, and now you have a skill. And you're helping people out with that skill. You're helping people organize. You're helping your friends and stuff. And then you move on and you get into your older stage of life, and you have money. And hey, my hands don't work like they used to, and I can't move around like I could. But I've made my money and I've saved my money, and I'm older now. You know what? I'm gonna be generous to this church or to this homeless shelter or whatever. That's kind of the way I look at my life, even though I really don't ever want to stop being generous. And that's why, for me, I love helping people. It puts a smile on my face. And again, I always know that at some point in time, I'm going to need something, or I'm going to be in need. And I know that I'm going to have someone who's there to come and help me out. So we did the money. I would say this, though, about money. This is one thing about being generous with your money. Be very careful to who you give your money to if you are generous with money. That is something that's very important. Even organizations, some nonprofits, I would do some but if you ever give money to those things, I would do your research and figure out what they're all about, and figure out where the money actually goes, and I'll do all that stuff, because money is a dangerous thing. Even if you, in your own goodness of your heart, is being generous with money, let's say you want to be really generous and you give some guy $100 and he goes and buys a bunch of heroin, then ODs and dies. Well, that wasn't really good. So really try, if you're giving money, you have to really be careful, because money is something that can corrupt, and money is something that people look to. and they look to it as saving them or satisfying them. So you might, sometimes if you give money, you might be doing more harm than good, and that's a little bit dangerous. So I think that is pretty much it for this little life talk. If you guys have any questions about anything that I said, or if you think that I said something wrong, or you think I said something that wasn't true, like let me know. And we're gonna be hanging out for a little bit. I'm gonna hop on some games. I'm gonna play some games and relax, because today we had a long day and you guys saw a massive part of my life today, if any of you guys watched from earlier.
Working harder, making better, doing faster, makes us stronger. All that